Hello everyone. Oh, thank you all so much for dropping in for a visit. Let me tell you, you've picked a good day. The weather is stunning outside. It's a beautiful warm spring day. Oh, it's just gorgeous out there. So you picked a very good day to visit me. And if you haven't visited me before, if this is the first time that you're coming onto my channel, let me introduce myself. My name is Suzanne. I'm a doll collector of all sorts of dolls. I have mostly artist made, I must admit. Oh, well, that's for the modern dolls. Yeah, artist made dolls for the modern dolls. And then I have a lot of vintage dolls from sort of 1910 onwards. Actually, that would make them anything that old is called antique, because 100 years, a doll that's 100 years old is considered antique. Anything over 25, between 25 and 100 is considered vintage. So I do have a lot of dolls that age too. So I'm a big doll, a big time. I don't want to say I'm a big doll collector, because I'm not a big person. I'm a medium-sized person, quite short. But I collect a lot of dolls and have in the past. I don't really add to my collection very often. There's just a few special dolls that I would love to get. But other than that, I don't really add to my collection. Aside from my reborn dolls, I make these reborn dolls. I've been an artist since 2010, and this is the latest little fellow that I have made. He's virtually brand new, maybe a couple of weeks old. Excuse my band-aids. Oh my goodness. I was trying to cut a bagel in half, and if you haven't been here before, or you haven't heard me talk about this for a while, I only have the use of this hand and arm, and so things get a bit awkward. My left arm and hand don't move at all, so things get a bit tricky. And I was doing an innocent thing like cutting a bagel in half, and I have two lovely new knives that one of my daughters and her husband bought for me. Just small ones, but they're super sharp, they're super good, have serrated edges, so they bought them so it would be easier to cut tomatoes and things. So I was just innocently cutting a bagel in half, but by mistake I cut my thumb. Not in half, but it made a heck of a mess. So sorry about the band-aids, but let's get back to the true story here, which is my gorgeous new little boy. I'm a little bit, fascinated with him. I just have to keep looking at him and dressing him and, enjoying him. But he's actually the Fear Elf sculpt by Carola Wegerich. So let me just move this little hand. Do you mind, my darling? I'll just move your hand down. So he's got human ears. He doesn't have elf ears like his brother Barnaby over at Suzanne's Babies channel. She has a Barnaby elf, and he's got his elf ears. But when I saw this sculpt, when I first saw it, I thought, oh, I love that look. I love thoughtful babies, because it reminds me of when my babies were little and they get that quizzical look. And it's not because they're scared or sad. It's because they're thinking, what is that odd thing I'm looking at? What is it? I can't make sense of this world I'm in. So I do love that look. Anyway, he, to me, is a perfect, quizzical, thoughtful, wondering sort of baby. But I didn't want an elf. I wanted a human baby. So I took my courage into my hands. And because I was making this doll for myself, I thought, let me have a go. Let me see what happens if I cut off the big pointy elf ears and try and mold some human ears. It was very scary, but brilliant. I love challenges. I think most of us do. I love, especially because if you succeed, then it's worth it, isn't it? It's not so good if you don't succeed, but I just kept working on him until I was satisfied. So he's got human ears, but he's still, I think deep inside somewhere, he's still an elf. I've called him Pippin, and Pippin said to me that he wanted to be a human baby. He wanted to, he knew the story of Pinocchio, and so he thought, well, if Pinocchio can go from wood to being a real boy, maybe I can go from being an elf to being a human. So that's exactly what happened, isn't it, my darling? So, yeah, so this is Pippin, and he's the elf. The Fear, it's spelled F-I-A. It sounds like fear, doesn't it? Like F-E-A-R, but it's F-I-A sculpt, in case you're interested in getting one. They're gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. Full arms, full legs, the cutest little feet. And both hands are absolutely beautiful. They're different. Let me show you. He's tucked this one under his little noggin. Let me pull it out and show you. He's got 2 fingers curled up with his thumb. So cute. Do you want to put it back? All right, you can. There we go. So I saw Suzanne did a surprise twinning video for me. She did it yesterday. I wasn't able to come on in the afternoon. So I've come on today to join in with her twinning video. So she has her Barnaby, who is the Fia elf kit. He's absolutely adorable. He came across the oceans to live with her, and he's gorgeous. And Pippin and Barnaby absolutely love each other. They're so happy to have each other. They really, really are. Barnaby understands about Pippin that he used to be a twin, but they still consider themselves as fraternal twins. They're very close. Anyway, so Suzanne came on with her gorgeous Barnaby and dressed him in this stunning outfit. And luckily, well, not by accident, but she had sent me the same romper that she was using for her Barnaby. She sent it for, I think she sent it before I had Pippin, before I finished Pippin. I can't remember if she knew he was in the making or not, but it is this absolutely stunning romper. It's by Trotters, which is an English brand, and it's actually one of those trick ones because it looks as though there's a bodysuit underneath, but actually it's one piece, and the underneath shirt is joined to the romper. The romper is made of a gorgeous, gorgeous fine lawn. Let me show you. You can see my fingers through there. It's so fine. You see my fingers a bit through there? Yeah. And it's a farm print. And when I really looked at it, I realised it's just got cows on it. No other farm animals, just cows. And there's quite a lot of blue cows in this print. So I'm not sure what sort of fantastic farm that is, you know, that is the subject of this print. But there are blue cows and grey cows and beautiful little sprigs of different coloured flowers on there. So that's what he's wearing. Absolutely adorable romper. And I love the collar. It does stay down, but I just love the look of it like that. So it's framing his face. Doesn't that look so adorable? It's got straps and buttons on either side of the bib part of the romper. And so there's extra buttons actually. There's another one down here. So if your baby grew, you could extend the length of the straps. But Pippin has promised me he's not going to grow. He just wants to stay the size he is, which is sort of a 20-inch baby with his little bent legs. So if he straightened his legs out, I think he would be a bit bigger than that maybe. Anyway, isn't he adorable? So that's the romper he's wearing, which, I just absolutely love. It just, it suits him, and it's just his style, and I love it. So thank you so much, dear Suzanne. I call her Rappy, and she calls me Dolly. So thank you, my darling Rappy, for sending this to us. I've had it for a little while now. Anyway, so that's what Suzanne started with this gorgeous romper. And then she what was I going to say? What word was I going to say? But ordered came out of my mouth. That is so weird. So the next thing, anyway, that she put on her Barnaby were some long white knee-high socks with bobbles. And so I went to my sock section in my cupboard, and lo and behold, I actually had 2 pairs to choose from. So I chose these ones with this fancy cut work, or whatever you call it, fancy design in the stripe. So that's what he's wearing. He's got his long white bobble socks on. And then because it's winter, or almost winter, in England, Suzanne added a lovely blue cardigan which perfectly matched the outfit. It had little pockets on the front, and I thought, I know I've got a blue cardi somewhere. Actually, I've got a few, but this one was the best match. I thought, pretty good match for the blue. Plus, it's just so sweet. It's by Next. It's a Next brand, and it's, what size was it? 0 to 3 months, I think. So I put that onto my darling Pippin. It's not cold here today, but, you know, he's very comfortable just like that. Let's put your little hand down so you don't look so I don't know what. Let's just move it down. So that is the story of his outfit. So we are twinning with Barnaby, aren't we, darling? In every sense of the word. The kit, the outfit, even the cardi, which is not exactly identical, but, you know, it's pretty close. So when I was watching Suzanne's video, her twinning video, which I saw first thing in the morning yesterday, and got very excited to dress up Pippin in the matching outfit, honestly. Yeah, so when I was watching her video, she did also talk about a tag that she started that you guys might like to join in with. It's a tag that is, tell a secret that you have never told anyone ever before. So I racked my brains, and although I carry a lot of people's secrets inside me because of the work that I've been doing as a crisis supporter, so there are all sorts of stories that stop with me, if you know what I mean. And, you know, things when friends tell you things. And I guess most of my secrets I've told to people, and the secrets that I haven't told to people, I can't tell to YouTube either. So, but it did remind me of a very funny story. Let me just adjust this so you can see his feet a bit more. That's better, isn't it? I don't like it when you can't see, when bits of him get cut off, or bits of any of the dolls I'm showing get cut off. So it reminded me, which it wasn't a secret, it was just a funny story that happened, a bit naughty, that my brother and I, probably about 60 years ago, our mum asked us to go up to the corner shop, which was not on the corner of our street, it was on the corner of a street that ran perpendicular to our street. So that our house was about, 4 houses from the corner. So we walked to the corner and we turned left and up that street and then crossed the road, and over there was the corner shop. And our mum asked us to buy half a loaf of bread. So back in those days, bread wasn't sliced. There was no such thing as sliced bread. And it was always in a loaf shape, and you could break the loaf, well, the baker could break the loaf in half because there'd been a dent cut into the dough as it was rising. And the baker could break it in half, and they just wrapped it in a bit of like white tissue paper, and you brought it home. So it wasn't far from our house, this shop, but say it took, if we dawdled, I reckon it could take, 10 to 15 minutes maximum. It's really, for an adult, it would be like a 2-minute walk. But we were dawdling home. It was a lovely day. And of course, you know what we did? We unwrapped the bread and we ate the whole middle out of the bread. All that was left was the outside crust of half a loaf of bread. And we went home and showed our mum. And she didn't get cranky. We didn't get into trouble. I think she just laughed at us and said, oh, you'll need to go back up and buy another loaf of bread, half a loaf. So we did that. But and it wasn't a secret because, I mean, my brother and I did it together. So already he knew about it. And then, of course, our mum knew about it. And probably the guy in the corner shop knew about it because we had to go straight back and buy another half a loaf. But anyway, that's my funny story. And it's a story that I've just recently told my grandchildren. Or I can't remember how many I told. Can't remember who was there. But I told them about this story, and it reminded me that, you know, to me it's not very long ago when I was a kid. It doesn't feel like, you know, the day of horse-drawn carriages and all that stuff. But for them it's weird, and it's so different because now sliced bread in plastic bags is so normal. I mean, even then I don't think there were supermarkets. There were shops, corner shops that carried a lot of stuff, but there wasn't such a thing as a supermarket. No, that's right. There were bakeries and greengrocers and the corner shop, milk bars and, you know, hardware shops, but there weren't supermarkets, and there certainly wasn't sliced bread or plastic for that matter. There was no plastic. There were plastic dolls, hard plastic, but there was no soft plastics like, you know, bread bags. So yeah, when I told that story, it was more than just a story about eating all the bread out of the middle. It was also a story about how things were, which is so different. And it's not that long ago. But yeah, that's my story. No secrets, I'm afraid. But if you would like to join in the tag, just mention at Suzanne's Babies and go for broke. Tell your secret that you haven't told anybody else if you have one. And if you don't want to, then please don't, because it could be scary. I mean, you have to be careful what you say on YouTube, because you don't know who's watching. But yeah, have some fun with it. I must admit, I couldn't come up with a secret that I could tell on YouTube, and it just reminded me of this funny story. Yeah. So I think that's all, my dear friends. That's enough, isn't it? I've been yakking on. But let's just have another look at this little angel. So he's going to wave to Barnaby. Hello, Barnaby. Hello, my dear friend. I'm so glad you've arrived to Rappy's nursery, and we can talk and we can show off our beautiful outfits together. Pippin is very pleased. You know, you can't really tell by the expression on his face, but trust me, he is very pleased, aren't you, my darling? Just love this kit. Love, love, love it. Yeah, so that's all, my dear friends. Thank you for visiting, and I hope you can visit again very soon. Hopefully I'll be back, but perhaps I'll be on with a different doll, or maybe not even a reborn, maybe another sort of doll. I know I keep saying I will show some of my other dolls, which I do from time to time, but my doll room is quite, it's not cluttered, but it's kind of a bit hard to maneuver around, so it's always an effort to take somebody out of there to show you, but I will at some stage. And in the meantime, I'll definitely try and bring on one of my other reborns so that you don't keep having to look at Pippin all the time. Because you know what it's like when you get a new doll. It just takes up all your attention. And that's what he's been doing, isn't it, my little man? He has been doing that. And it's so fun having a boy, like a newborn size boy. Because I do have one boy. His name is John T, and he's twin A by Bonnie Brown. So he's quite a little fellow. He's only about 17 inches. So it's that, you know, they wear different size clothes, and it's really fun to have a bigger boy. Yeah, you're a bigger boy, aren't you, my darling? He is. He's my bigger boy. So thank you so much for dropping in, and I'm sorry I didn't have an actual secret to tell, but I hope you enjoyed the silly story of eating the bread. Yeah, and I hope you enjoyed seeing this little man in his gorgeous outfit. Isn't it amazing? Just love it. Yeah, all right, everyone. Take care of yourselves, and hopefully we'll be together again very soon. Bye-bye.